reviewing U. U has two long sounds, U and U, and it will make its long sound if one of the next two letters is another vowel. If not, if those next two letters are consonants or a final consonant and in the end of the word, that you will say That sound is also the schwa sound, which can be spelled by any letter, such as an A at the very end of words. So when you hear at the end, spell it with a, not a U. Words don't end in U. They're not supposed to anyway. So if you hear at the end, spell it with an A. If you hear U or oo at the end, spell it with an EW. I'm going to put that one in the chat. EW is for the end of words, to spell the long U sound. For the oo sound in the beginning and middle, we're going to use a OO. Most of what I've just said is for spelling. For reading, you just have to recognize that. You have to recognize that A at the end says EW says U or oo, and OO will say oo most of the time. Sometimes it will say but usually it will say oo. So as long as you can recognize those graphemes and what they are saying, that EW is usually going to come at the end. The OO will be at the beginning and middle for the most part. Then you will be solid when you can learn to recognize those units and what they say most of the time. So let's get practicing. Okay, hopefully you can share my screen, or hopefully you can see my screen here. And hopefully this is the right lesson this time. Let me know if not, and I will fix it. All right, so we're going to start annotating these words. We always mark the vowels first. In reading, we read the vowels first. In spelling, we spell the vowels last. In reading, we read the vowels first so that you can read the whole word with knowledge and understanding of what those vowels are going to say because you figured them out beforehand. In spelling, we spell the vowels last because you have to know what the letters are that are around it before you know how to spell that sound, because vowels have so many different spellings. So vowels first in reading. That U is going to say oo or U, dependent upon the shape of my mouth when I made that ul. And then A at the end says represented by an upside down E. That's this schwa symbol. So our sounds are k, ul, oo, p, klupa, klupa. All right, go ahead and try yours over here. I'll be quiet while you work. Try not to sing. It's kind of hard. I'll try to be quiet while you focus. All right, so we know that this U is going to say oo because of the tab 2 rule. There's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. We know that A at the end says so our sounds are t, Make sure that that does not come out as a CHR, which will be tempting for your tongue to pronounce. But that is the sloppy way to say it. I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be this. Okay, so we're going to make it ter instead of chur. All right, focus on that enunciation. So oo, p, trupa, trupa. Make sure that you can hear the T. Trupa. All right, number 2. We have a here. I know that that U is going to make it short sound because the next 2 letters are consonants. And here we have the EW grapheme that says U or oo. So our sounds are f, sh, t, oo. Pushing them together. Fur, fra, frush. Now that R is going to be hard to pronounce, so make sure that you are in control of that R. Frushed, frush to, frush to. That's not an easy word to pronounce, but you can force it. Go ahead and try yours over here. Don't let an R come in after this D. It might be tempting. R's can sneak in and sneak out. You have to be we have to be really aware of where R's are and where they are not, where your mouth is trying to form one where it doesn't belong. So this U will say because the next two letters are consonants. EW says oo at the end. So our sounds are b, sh, d, oo. One at a time. Br, bruh, brush, brushed, brush do, brush do. How was that? How was brush do? Did you get that one on your own? Put a Y for yes or A. Almost. Brush do. You guys just like putting smiles on my face. Fantastic. Love it. Okay, well, I got it. That was a little easy, April. Well, how about we step it up a little bit then? Okay, number 3. So this U is going to say because there are two B's after it, two consonants. O says oo in the middle of words. A says at the end of words. So we have p, l, b, u, n, plabuna, plabuna, plabuna. Now you can do what I just did by grabbing every sound and just plowing through. When you do that, you have to make sure that you grab each dot. Okay? If you're going to just go right through like that, make sure that you grab each sound. That's why the dots are there. The dots are there to keep everything in order and organized. You grab this sound, grab this sound, grab this sound. Okay? Don't let any of them get by without getting pronounced. So go ahead and try yours over. Oh, so you can do it that way, or you can just do the successive blending, which I love the technique where you just grab one sound and then go back to the beginning and start over. Brr, bruh, brush, brushed, brush do, okay? Either one is perfectly fine, whatever you like, and sometimes it might vary from word to word. All right, go ahead and try this one. Good, Stephanie. Of course you did. All right. So this U is going to say because there are two consonants after it. O says oo. A at the end says So we have shatupa. Shatupa. Now, let me just tell you something. You've never seen shatupa in your life. I can pretty much guarantee that you have never seen that word before. You've never seen those letters put together in that order before. I know, because I made it up. If there's a shatupa out there, I would be very surprised. But you read it with confidence because you understood how those letters work. You understood what the vowels were going to say, what that O was going to say, what that A was going to say. So it was not a guess. You probably used to guess a lot when you were reading, but you don't have to anymore. So congratulations. You've come to reading class today, and you're learning how to read words that you've never seen before so that you can read any word. Okay? I'm teaching you how to read, not how to read specific words. We are going to get to real world words that are quite challenging toward the end of the year. But for now, I'm teaching you how to read so that you can read any word when you get to it. Number 4. So this TH has two sounds. It has a voiceless sound or a voiced sound. And it's going to make its voiceless sound most of the time when it's at the beginning like that. O will say oo. Now here we have an R after a T. Make sure that it was like this one, that you hear the T and it doesn't turn into a lazy CHR type of sound. and then EW says ooh. So we have ooh. Don't let an R come in here. Your brain's going to want to put one in there, but be in control of that spot, okay? Ooh, n, t, ooh. So there's no R here, but the R goes here. Those R's, you gotta master those R's. Thoo, thoon, thoont, thoonter, thoontru, thoontru. Now, when you go to read yours over here, pay attention to this spot. Do not let an R sound get in after that D. Go ahead and try it. Great question, Blair. I will answer that as soon as we're done here. Okay, so we have this OO that says ooh. EW also says ooh. Look at that, two different spellings for the same sound. You can also use just a regular old U to say ooh. It all depends on the letters that are around it. OO is generally for the beginning and middle. EW is generally for the end. That's why they are spelled differently. It's because of where they are in the word. So we have ch, oo, d, oo. Not letting an R in this spot, we have chew, choom, choomed, choomdo, choomdo, without an R, choomdo. Please let me know if you got that one Y or A for almost. For choomdo. Okay. A lot more almosts on that one. Yeah, that one was a tricky one. All right, Blair had a question. How come the CH says different sounds? Does not it make the hard K sound? It sure can sometimes. So CH can actually say 3 different things that I'm thinking of right now. I'd have to think for a second if it made more than 3. I don't think it does. So it can say ch, or it can say k, or it can say sh. These are let me fix that. These are the 3 sounds that I'm aware of, off the top of my head, that CH can make. This is for English. This is for Greek. This is for French words. English words like channel. Greek words like school or chemistry. And French words like Chevrolet or Chicago. Okay, hopefully that helps. Okay, did we do? Yeah, we did number 4, right? Yeah. Okay, if you want to do one of these extra practice, I can already see some requests coming through. Put what number you want in the chat. Okay, number 4 it is. That was fast. All right, so this OO is going to say ooh. This U is going to say so take a second, everybody, figure that word out, and then I'll do it with you. Okay, be careful of these last 3 sounds. Don't let anything else in. So we have ch, oo, t, up, chewed-up, chewed-up. You might have been thinking that it might have been harder than that, huh? Chewed-up, yeah. Kind of clear cut on that one, chewed-up. All right, and we have a request for number 10. You got it. Okay, so we have a OO that's going to say ooh. And U right here that's going to say because of those 2 consonants, and EW says ooh at the end. Let's go ahead and try this one. I'll give you a minute. grab that L right here. If you want to break it up, you can divide it right here and right here and make 3 smaller parts. Okay, so this first syllable says who, who. Syllable number 2, we have up, mup. Putting those 2 parts together, whom up. Last part, plu, plu. When we combine these 2 parts, these 2 P's are going to sound like one. Whomaplu, whomaplu. How did you do on whomaplu? Let me know in the chat if it Y for yes or A for almost. Did you get whomaplu? I'm dying to know. Nice, Joe. Nice. Good, Rowan. Good talent. Good, Sarah. Almost. Lots of almosts in here. Medium, yeah. Okay. That's perfect, because if I couldn't think of any words that could even challenge you in the slightest, then I wouldn't have you in my class and I would miss you. So I'm glad that we can have some words that are a little bit of a challenge. That's perfect. It's just like exercising a muscle, right? To exercise a muscle, I'm not going to lift weights with my pen, right? That's not going to do any good. But I'm also not going to use a 100-pound weight for my little arms. I'm going to use something that's more manageable, that's a challenge, it's going to hurt, right? But over time it will get stronger. So there has to be some tension there. There has to be some sort of barrier, some sort of obstacle for your brain to grasp for. So it's okay that the words are hard. They're supposed to be. All right? It's just the tension that we're adding to your brain muscle, which is already beautiful. All right, my friends. I will see you on Monday, where we have a new month and new things to learn. I'm excited. Have a wonderful weekend in the meantime. We'll see you then. Bye, my friends.